Despite being handled by an unproven internal studio and suffering a turbulent development cycle, including a promotion from spin-off to mainline title, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis would arrive in the hands of fans clamouring for more survival horror in early 2000. Unlike Resident Evil 2's port, Dreamcast owners would only have to wait 10 months to get their fill of Resident Evil. It experiments with the formula, adds a titanic new adversary, and puts an action spin on the gameplay. But though some of the ambitions don't quite go to plan, Nemesis is an enjoyable addition to the series, with its challenging gameplay proving both its biggest strength and its main deterrent. With a storyline set before, during, and after the events of Resident Evil 2, Nemesis will please those looking to spend more time embroiled in a zombie outbreak. Jill Valentine, the Master of Unlocking from the first game, is trapped in Raccoon City after a zombie outbreak overruns its defences. She begins a search for help, only to be confronted by a monstrous entity known as Nemesis, which seemingly existed for the sole purpose of wiping out members of STARS. Although she finds help in the form of mercenaries sent in by Umbrella, her final escape will not be easy. A bit more straightforward than previous games, featuring little in the way of twists and revelations, Nemesis is nevertheless a focused and enjoyable tale which benefits from shocking moments of gore and better than average voice work. Resident Evil 3 initially follows in the footsteps of its predecessors. You'll be tasked with navigating through sections around Raccoon City, utilising limited resources to tackle the legions of undead that populate the streets. The surface features of this series at the time, including tank controls, short supplies of ammo, and head-scratching puzzles, were here. But there's some interesting tweaks to note for series faithfuls. Areas are often randomised, making enemy placement, ammo, and other items impossible to memorise, unlike in previous games. Cutscenes will play out a bit differently depending on how you proceed, with key items often being obtainable in your choice of order. And although only a single scenario is on this game, frequent moments of player choice give incentive to return. Players can create ammo from gunpowder, with mixes resulting in different types. It may have started life as a spin-off, but this Resident Evil is quite in depth.
We've gotta... Jill! Help! No!
The key to this game's legacy is its titular monster, the Nemesis. It adds a layer of terror for a variety of reasons. Its design is grotesque, a hulking mass of unsettling features such as scars and horrid skin, and, just to add a bit of firepower, a rocket launcher attached to it. The creature initially seems similar to the Tyrant from the previous game, but Nemesis has a few unique tricks. He is faster, can grab Jill in several damaging grapples, and will even rarely attack other zombies to succeed in his singular mission. He of course has predetermined appearances, but can also arrive throughout the game at random moments. While dodging and running is usually the best course of action, killing it on hard mode can reward you with weapon parts, creating a risk-reward factor for players. It is easily the best part of Resident Evil 3.
Stars.
But while many of its new ideas thrive, not every element of experimentation works out. There is a definite shift in focus towards bigger scale action, with an increased zombie count on screen at any one time. This combines with Nemesis' presence, making ammo conservation and resource management tougher than before. This isn't too much of an issue, but one new mechanic severely threatens to hurt the game. Dodging has been added to Jill's repertoire, allowing for a timed evasive movement. Unfortunately, it's mapped to the same button as your aim and shoot, with the press allowing you to potentially dodge. This makes the mechanic very hard to pull off, leading to either no success, dodges which happen occasionally, and even dodging when you didn't press a button. But enemies can possess an incredibly long reach, particularly Nemesis and his swinging grabs, which sometimes deal damage despite you dodging. When you combine these factors together, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis is one of the hardest titles in the series, and harder to recommend to those unfamiliar with the genre. On the other hand, diehards may meet this new challenge with a sense of glee. Capcom were on top form with their presentations at this point, and Nemesis benefits from atmospheric designs. Though a brief detour into the familiar police department rears its head, exploring several areas around the abandoned city is definitely a bigger treat. Background storytelling is immensely well done here, including a particularly notable screen which depicts a conflict between biohazards and army soldiers. The intimidating monster designs, gruesome moments, and excellent FMVs all add a ton of weight to the zombie outbreak. The sound remains top notch too, with hard-hitting effects including hideous-sounding decapitations, the satisfying squish of a shotgun headshot, and a great soundtrack which highlights include the morose, ominous hospital theme. Releasing 10 months after initially appearing on PAL PlayStations, Nemesis looks rather good on Sega's console. While you can see a lot of the basic texturing carried over from the older version, backgrounds look cleaner and character models are a bit sharper. There's nothing from more advanced Dreamcast titles like lip movements though, and some of the pre-rendered scenes look worse than others. There's also a number of Dreamcast exclusive features, including VMU display for status, costumes unlocked from the beginning, along with 2 new outfits, and mercenary modes available from the outset, an addictive time challenge which would become a staple of the series. This is a very good port, and a strong way to experience Nemesis for the first time.
Come on!
Ow, that killed! Just so you know, I'm not into that pain is pleasure thing, okay?
Just deal with it. That thing wants me dead. We've got to get out of here!
Resident Evil 3 Nemesis offers those craving more survival horror scares exactly what they want. The new scenario retains the heart of this series, while some experimental tweaks prove both worthwhile and detrimental. When you add in the combustible element of Nemesis, it's definitely not for those inexperienced with survival horror. But for those who can stomach the difficulty and are looking for a malleable, tense and engaging adventure to sink their teeth into, Nemesis will prove more than entertaining. It may be the weakest of the first trilogy by default, but considering how excellent those 2 games were, this is still a great time.
It was Raccoon City's last chance, and my last chance.